And what I realized is that all these things and everything that I was dealing with from my trauma and aggression, I was taking it out on women. For me, it was coming out in where I was abusing women.
What do you mean by when you say that?
Verbally, using my machismo, my narcissistic, manipulative ways of how I would, if I didn't get what I wanted, I would lash out in those ways.
And that's very typical of an unhealed man, but an unhealed Latino male. It's very, very, like, you see this, like, right? And so, first of all, thank you for being vulnerable and saying that that's how you were, right? And maybe if you're watching, or if you have a husband or whoever that's like that, I could say that Cesar is not like that anymore. So that can be changed, because sometimes people think like narcissism or whatever, that they're just gonna be like that forever. That's who they are.
No.
How? So you recognize that, and what do you do to change that?
Well,
what's the first step?
So I've always believed, again, like, pain is our biggest teacher, and losing my best friend, that obviously proved that. And then as I started seeing myself in and out of relationships with women, I stopped blaming them, and I started looking at myself, and I started realizing that I was the source of this.
Yeah.
That because this little boy in me didn't get what he wanted,
didn't get loved, didn't know how to communicate, wasn't protected, and so when I wasn't receiving these things from them, like they were supposed to give it to me, right? I was out seeking this from people, right? I was out seeking it from drugs, alcohol, from other things, other sources, but it's my responsibility. And so when I started showing up for myself, when I started eating because of Stretch, working out because of Scott, diving into books. Gina had given me a book called Conversations with God. And I sat on this book for like 2 years. And I had one night, I had a dream that Stretch came to me. And I didn't remember the dream. I call Vanessa. I'm like, hey, Vanessa, I had this dream. Stretch came to tell me something. She goes, you don't have to remember it to have gotten the message. I go to the gym, and the book falls out of my bag. And in that, it falls out. And then there's this picture of Stretch in the page, like page 4. And I fucking lost it, because what I read was something in the context of, I will continue to send you messages from every corner of the universe until you receive them as they were mine. And it gives me chills. Because in that moment, I realized that's what he came to tell me. That it was okay. That where I was at in my life, it was 10 years in my business. I was upside down. And in that moment, I decided to walk away. He goes, you will be okay.